Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunjavihare Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunjavihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjavihare Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunjavihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjavihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjavihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjavihare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava ki jai, Sri Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here it is. Okay. Sorry, just drink. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, today we are reading from... but it's working now. See? Punzera. Okay. I printed, but if you want to bring the book, we like the book, of course. Brauchst du Übersetzung? Die Übersetzung auf Deutsch? No, nein. Okay, alles gut. Okay. Yes. Okay. Ja, ich muss auch Deutsch mein Deutsch verbessern. Aber ich mache den Makta-Kurs dann. Und das hilft. Yes. So, okay, Ryan, we have the book, or no problem. No, I printed it, so I have it. Yeah, of course, the book is nice. So we are reading today from fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 21st chapter, entitled. I don't remember. I have to read it. I have it here. Then I will find it. Yeah. You remember the title of the chapter? Is it Ideal Leadership? No, cannot be. Sorry, because I have this beautiful book here, Book Bhagavatam, The Constant Companion, from Keshava Swami Maharaj. But I don't have the Bhagavatam. Doesn't matter. Wait, I have it actually. The creation of the fourth order. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh, I have it in the phone. The creation of the fourth order. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we're ready. So we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Aho vayam mihadya pavitra kirtem. Correct? No, it's not the correct verse. No. Gosh, okay, hold on. What did I print? Wait. So it's not correct on the board? It's 49 on the board. It is? Okay. So, what did I print? I don't know. No problem. We have the technology. 49. That's 49, eh? Ahovayam I Adya Pavitra Kirte. Sorry, it's not correct on the board. If you want, I can give you the phone. It's not correct there. Which verse I have? You have. Okay, 4:21:49. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not correct. So, yeah. If you want, I can give you the phone. Yeah, you want? Oops. Oh, Brian. Spantola. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. It's okay. Thank you so much. Just water. Thank you. Aho vayam e adya pavitra kirtem. Vayam e adya pavitra kirtem. Tvaya vanatena mukundanataha. Ya uttama shloka tamasya vishnor. Brahmanya devasya katam vyanakti. Aho vayam adya pavitra kirtem. Tvaya evanatena mukundanataham. Ya uttama shloka tamasya vishnor. Brahmanya devasya katam vyanakti. Aho vayam adya pavitra kirtem. Tvaya evanatena mukundanataha. Ya uttama shloka tamasya vishnor. Brahmanya devasya katam vyanakti. Please. Aho vayam yadya pavitra kirte. Tvayaivan attena mukundanataha. Ya uttama shloka tamasya Vishnor. Brahmanya devasya katam vyanakti. Aho vayam yaditya pavitra kirte. Tvaya evanattena mukundanataha. Ya uttama shloka tamasya Vishnur. Brahmanya devasya katam vyanakti. Aho vayam yadya pavitra kirte. Tvaya vanatena mukundanataha. Ya uttama shloka tamasya Vishnur. Brahmanya devasya katam vyanakti. Thank you. Okay. So word for word. Aho. Oh goodness. Vayam. We. He. Certainly. Adya. Today. Pavitra Kirte. O Supreme Purity. Tvaya. By you. Eva. Certainly. Natenam. By the Lord. Mukundam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nataha. Being the subject of the Supreme. Ye. One who. Uttama shloka tamasya. Of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is praised by the nicest verses. Vishnu. Of Vishnu. Brahmanya devasya. Of the worshipable Lord of the Brahmanas. Katam. Words. Vyanakti. Expressed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The audience continued. Dear King Prithu, your reputation is the purest of all, for you are preaching the glories of the most glorified of all, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the Brahmanas. Since, due to our great fortune, we have you as our master, we think that we are living directly under the agency of the Lord. Purport. The citizens declared that through being under the protection of Maharaj Prithu, they were directly under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This understanding is the proper situation of social steadiness within this material world. Since it is stated in the Vedas that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the maintainer and leader of all living entities, The king or the executive head of the government must be a representative of the Supreme Person. Then he can claim honor exactly like the lords. How a king or leader of society can become the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also indicated in this verse by the statement that because Prithu Maharaj was preaching the supremacy and the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, he was therefore a proper representative of the Lord. To remain under the jurisdiction or administration of such a king or leader is the perfect status for human society. The primary responsibility of such a king or leader is to protect the Brahminical culture and the cows in his state. Yes, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's it. Let me check because I printed it. I want to check if I read everything. Yes, okay. That was the part. Very nice. So now we together, if you like, recite the prayers that are present in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakchurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupan Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vikatam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I want to read the translation of the very beginning of this prayer. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Joy. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I can read again, if you like, the translation of the verse. The 4:21:49. The audience continued, Dear King Prithu, your reputation is the purest of all, for you are preaching the glories of the most glorified of all, the Supreme Personality of God, the Lord of the Brahmanas. Since, due to our great fortune, we have you as our master, we think that we are living directly under the agency of the Lord. Okay, so I was researching a bit, and so I will tell you some of, especially this verse, what immediately um, reminded me of this verse, of the leadership of Maharaj Prithu. And then I will tell you some of the points that Svayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj makes in his book Bhagavatam, the compense. It's a summary study of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this part, really he speaks about ideal leadership. Oh, by the way, this is Prithu Maharaj. I don't know if you saw this picture before. It's very nice, yeah? You remember how Prithu Maharaj appeared? It's very interesting appearance. No? No idea. There was King Vena. King Vena was, not really, let's say, favorable to the Brahmanas. He actually was, how can we say? Yes, he was a terrible king, yeah? At some point, the Brahmana decided, no, this cannot work, And together with mantras, they gathered and decided to kill King Vena. Imagine, yeah? It was so terrible, the situation for Mother Earth and for the citizens. And so then they decided, okay, that's it, and but then they needed a king after this, yeah, because what can you do without a king? Somebody has to rule this world, yeah. So then the sages first, they had the body of King Vena, yeah. Imagine also they had the king, because now you will see the pictures, from the thighs, they churned the thighs, and from the thighs, this part of the legs, came up a dwarf-like entity named Bahuka, and that was Vena's. Basically, he assumed all Vena's sinful activities from this king, and then gone. Okay, after purifying the body, basically, the sages churned the arms of King Vena. Okay, and Prithu Maharaj appeared from there. Prithu Maharaj, not only Prithu Maharaj, but also an expansion of the goddess of fortune, Archie. That's why we see both of them in the picture. So they came, yeah, it's very nice, huh? They came exactly from this very particular birth, we can say, yeah, from King Vena's body. Wow. Okay, so going back to the verse, basically the verse is glorifying how they are the citizens. Shri Lakshmi Srimad Bhagavan Ki Jai. These are the citizens that are glorifying King Prithu because he is really, the ideal leader. They say, due to our great fortune, we have you as our master. We think that we are living directly under the agency of the Lord. Okay, so in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 3rd chapter, 21st verse, it's a famous verse, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So this really verse reminded me of this verse in Bhagavad Gita. And then, if you like, I would like to read also the purport to the verse in Bhagavad Gita, because I think it's very pertinent to our verse today. what Srila Prabhupada tells us about leadership, real leadership, ideal leadership. He says, people in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. See, Srila Prabhupada was so practical. And also because we see it every day. I don't know you, but I've seen a couple of doctors, that were telling me like, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. And then we were seeing them doing exactly what they were telling us not to do. Hare Krishna. That's not exactly, an exemplary leader. But yes, see, Srila Prabhupada really wanted us to understand very practically. Then he says, Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. Yeah, even before, Very nice. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Founder Acharya. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra, scripture, to teach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. Very good. The revealed scriptures, like Manu Samhita and similar others, are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principles of such standard shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. Jai. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of progress on this path of spiritual realization. Now he's talking about the king. See, very important part, because today that's our verse, the ideal leadership of King Prithu Maharaj. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada says, the king or executive head of a state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So that was the purport of 321 from Bhagavad Gita as it is. And then, if you like, I will take you through the points that Keshava Maharaj makes in his book Bhagavatam, because this is a very important topic to have ideal, exemplary leaders in the society. So Maharaj says, so then I give you also some of my thoughts, I would not say realization, but, some of my reflections, okay. Humbly, yes, in a spirit of service. Yes, because, we are here talking together, basically. So if you have any comments or, any experience that you want to share, please don't be shy. Okay. Maharaj says, Keshava Swami Maharaj says, good leaders are essential for progressive civilization. And in this part of Bhagavatam, there are a series of metaphors that describe actually the qualities of an exemplary leader like Maharaj Prithu. And they give us an insight, so really an idea. They give us a deep idea of how the character of an ideal leader should be to powerfully lead people. Okay. So, let me see. Yeah, then he says, when Prithu returned to the kingdom after the sacrifice, the citizens offered him a grand welcome. This is the part we are reading now. Yeah. Prithu humbly accepted their service, but was more concerned about serving them. This is a very important point. Maharaj says the best leaders are servants at heart. They really, really want to serve. Yes. What did Prithu Maharaj do? Actually, he did a great sacrifice that attracted a beautiful assembly of people and sages. And he declared to everybody his commitment. I'm going to rule, I'm going to protect the citizens, and I will also engage them nicely according to the system of Varnashram. Did you hear about Varnashram system? Kind of? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, you know. All right. So I will explain quickly. Varnashram system, according to the Varnashram system that was given by Krishna himself, there are 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams. Okay, maybe the ashram you've heard, yeah? Okay, ashram you've heard. There is Brahmachari ashram. Okay, that's got it. Very nice. And the Varnas, maybe that's something new. I don't know. Okay, that head of the Varnas is the Brahmanas. Okay, so they are the teachers. Yeah, to put it simply. Okay. Then we have the Kshatriyas, the rulers and governors. Yeah, they are also the warriors. Like who's a famous Kshatriya in Bhagavad Gita? Very good. Yeah, that's it. Kshatriya. Then we have the Vaishyas. This may be something new. Vaishyas, they are meant to protect the cows and they are merchants, you know. So they how do you say in English? They have goods and sell them, you know, and and get the goods. They're also with agriculture, you know, into agriculture, yeah. And the last ones are the Shudras. It's not because there's a first or last, but in the sense that they are the servants of the other 3 Varnas, yeah. So they're meant to help out. And so, you know, in small dealings, normally, you know, like this. So I hope this was clear. Okay, welcome. So this is what Prithu Maharaj did. He engaged his citizens very nicely according to these different varnas and ashram, which is, yes, is very, very, you know, what can we say? That's ideal leadership, you know, to know exactly what's the varnas of your citizens, their ashrams. And then, yes, he encouraged also everyone, though, you know, even, you know, if they took up their duties, but he encouraged them to give up material desires and embrace devotional service to the Supreme Lord and serve the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So see how an ideal king really, you know, can, you know, put the citizens in the best position for their spiritual advancements. And he also demonstrated, Prithu Maharaj, that is a real son. You know, in Sanskrit you say putra, which means one who delivers the parents from hell. Because remember, his father, King Vina, was not pretty, he was a demoniac king, yeah? He didn't do well. But because Prithu Maharaj acted in such an ideal, exemplary way, he could deliver also his father. And that was demoniac. Very good. So, there is another beautiful verse It will come in the next chapter. But for the sake of describing, the ideal leader, which is what Keshava Maharaj does in the book, I will read it for you. It's from fourth canto, 22nd chapter, verse 58. This really, explains the three fundamental qualities of a leader, that a leader must have, and this is a description of Maharaj Prithu. Okay, the verse says, just as rainfall satisfies everyone's desires, Maharaj Prithu used to satisfy everyone. Number one. He was like the sea in that no one could understand his depths. And he was like Meru, the king of hills, in the fixity of his purpose. Number three. Yes. So we can go through them. So Keshava Swami, he likes to follow us like acronym. So in this sense, he's very organized. So that it helps us to remember also, the very different points. So the first one was Maharaj Prithu used to satisfy everyone. So in this sense, selfless is a good adjective that can contain all this concept. And I don't know if it's a good word, yeah? Auf Deutsch? Selfless? Wunderbar. Vielen Dank. Yes, so it means that real leaders are not full of themselves. They are not only about themselves, but they think about in terms of helping people. They want to really help. And by their decisions, actions, and words, they inspire people very much to dream more, to have a different vision from what they have, a bigger, better vision, to learn. They inspire people to learn and become, a better version of themselves. And Maharaj says, Keshava Swami Maharaj says, embodying true selflessness, such leaders are uninterested in personal fame and selfish gain, but are instead completely focused on bringing out the best in others. He says also that in a modern point of view, they are called servant leaders, which is really what, anyway we aspire to, because we really aspire to be the servant of the servant. And imagine having such a leader. Such leaders are very attractive, isn't it? I don't know if you ever, such, we have the example here, the exemplary leader, founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Well, his being attractive is clear like the sun. Yeah, he attracted so many people and keeps attracting many, many people at his lotus feet through his amazing work, especially, of course, in his books. Yes, in his books, his literature. And then he created such a society, a movement, that's all over the world. Well, I should not explain. It's very clear, And so these leaders are attractive, serving others. They are constantly meditating on how to serve others better. And so people are attractive. It's like a magnet. I don't know if we can explain this in other terms. It's like, wow, it's something that you really want to follow. Yeah, somebody that you really want to follow. Yeah. But, on the other side, we are more used to seeing leaders that are not really selfless. Normally, they're very selfish. Selfish auf Deutsch? Egoistisch, ja? Wunderbar, ja. Yes, we say it in Italian as well. Egoista. Yeah, that's it. So, in this sense, people, when you see such a leader, unless you have some interest in, getting something from him or her, people are normally repelled. We don't like. Yeah, really deeply inside, we are like, no, this person is really selfish. He's not thinking about the welfare of the citizens. Like this. Yes, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur commented also, in our case, that we are in spiritual institutions, and we have to be aware that when there is organization, facilities, structure, there could, to help spirituality, of course, that there could be a danger that also these materialistic ideas or mindsets, and competition for power can enter. So we have to be aware of this, yeah. But also we can be sure that, people recognize selfless leaders because they inspire the followers to become selfless themselves. And so this then creates an amazing, atmosphere, and some, really like resonates with us, like really internally. But, if the leaders are selfish on the other side, and they exploit people, then the problem is that the followers might lose faith, trust, and confidence also. And they might decide, okay, look, I'm gonna look out for myself. I'm gonna take care of myself. Thank you very much. I know I cannot trust you, so I will do other things, And so that's, unfortunately, we are in Kali Yuga. We can see it all the time. The governments are creating skeptic citizens. Yes, at the very least, skeptic. What to do? Yeah, we understand this. Okay, so the next quality of the leader, selfless, we said one is selfless. The second one, I will read again the verse. Maharaj Prithu was like the sea that no one could understand its depths. That's very nice. In this sense, Keshava Maharaj helps us, telling us another adjective can be spiritual then, in the sense of depth. How deep is Maharaj Prithu? And our leaders, ideal leaders, should aim to reach this quality of being spiritual. And even another example of an ideal king, of course, is Lord Ramachandra. And he would, in his reign, would speak also to the sages in the deep forest, ask them for spiritual inspiration and counsel, because he really wanted to rule in a progressive way for his citizens. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, these leaders, spiritual leaders, are called Raja Rishis, or saintly kings. And they were really connected deeply to the soul. And not only, they were very knowledgeable in philosophy. We were talking about it yesterday. They really knew their philosophy very well. It was not only sentimentally, that they were connected to the divine, but no, also very from the philosophy point of view, because they really understood the purpose of life very deeply, and they had a vision, bigger vision. That's what the leader has, a vision that normal citizens is in difficulty, to have. Is dealing with these little things at home, or just earning enough money to carry on, get by, but the leader can see also ahead, a lot ahead. Ecco, so in this sense, a spiritual leader is also a leader that can guide the citizens on the material level, so helps them, and at the same time helps them find their spiritual path and their spiritual essence. Yes. And we saw how Maharaj Prithu was glorified by the citizens as being a representative of God himself. So that's what spiritual leaders are also, they see themselves as instruments of God. Yes, then and I will tell you a story that Keshav Maharaj shares with us, his beautiful story of Srila Prabhupada. At the beginning, when he came to America, he was struggling alone and didn't, have much followers at the time yet, But a name called Mr. Ruben, asked him, so what are you doing here? And at the time, as I told you, nothing was there, So Prabhupada, sorry. This is famous because you can see Prabhupada's really depth and really high purpose. He told him, I am not alone. There are books, there are temples, there are devotees. Only time separates us from them. So he knew exactly, he had the vision that he would found so many temples, he would print so many books, so many people would follow him. He just said at the time, only time separates us from them. So you can see the depth and, really, really understanding, because Srila Prabhupada, deep faith, he had deep faith on the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he understood that really ultimately it was just a question of time, and everything would be revealed and manifested like it was in the end. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So that's a wonderful story. And okay, then now we go to the third quality of our ideal leadership. So we were reading Maharaj Prithu then, that's the description that was given. He was like Meru, the king of hills, in the fixity of his purpose. Okay, so remember the S. So first one was selfless, second is spiritual, and now third, the fixity of the purpose. So Keshava Swami summarizes it as strong. So selfless, spiritual, and strong. These are the three qualities of the ideal exemplary leader. And because yes, strong is very important. Being strong is very important. Not only strong, like in the sense of course, mentally strong, physically strong. Why not? But also being resilient, especially because we see now, even as we are not leaders, but we try our best every day. But especially in a leadership position must be very hard, because really they try their best, we can see, and sometimes that's not good enough, trying your best. And that's another nice story that Keshav Maharaj gives us from Srila Prabhupada. A devotee once complained to Srila Prabhupada, if the management was perfect, then nobody would leave. Yeah. Prabhupada responded, but we all left the spiritual world. Yeah, very clear, very, I like very much, Prabhupada, very on the point. Yes, so we quitted in the first place. What are you talking about? Now we are in a spiritual institution. Some people will quit. We have to accept this, The management has to do their best, of course, and they have to be strong in a sense because, in difficult times, they have to be willing to make bold decisions, to take bold decisions, and they have to keep, their clarity, their thoughts clear, even under pressure. They have to be in the front, of the battle. Yeah, if we want to say this metaphor, they have to show courage. Because if the leader is not brave, then you can imagine who's following him. It's not gonna be brave, of course. So in India, we were talking about the Varnas, the Kshatriyas, this is the Varna of the leader. Also Prithu Maharaj, of course. Arjun, we were talking about. Of course, from a Kshatriya family. And they are still called, these Kshatriya kings, they're called Singh, which means lion. So just because, we're front of Lord Narasimhadev. So, they really have to be bold as a lion, strong as a lion. And on another note, Keshava Swami makes us reflect that strong doesn't mean that a leader is insensitive, that doesn't really empathize, feel empathy towards his citizens. And again, to give an example, Lord Ramachandra was employing spies that would go and see how the people felt about his leadership, because he wanted really to have feedback, to improve, to introspect, and really understand what, could be improved in his kingdom, what he could do better. That's really, high standard. Yeah, if you think about it, nowadays, they really have spies for other purposes, unfortunately. They just want to protect themselves from threats, and they just want to keep their seat, we say in Italian. I don't know if they say it in English, but, their prestige, their fame, their power, their money, they want to protect. Unfortunately, that's selfish leadership. And of course, this strength we are talking about has to go together with morality. So we spoke about it earlier. They need to know very well the difference between what is right, what is wrong. The ideal leader should be also sensitive to the human feelings, so empathetic, as we said. And they have to show maturity and consider when they take some decisions, what are the consequences, what are the ramifications of their decision. That's a really strong leader. And so again, to summarize, these are the three qualities that really, make us think about ideal leadership. Selflessness. Okay, spiritual. One leader has to be spiritual, selfless, spiritual, and strong. Okay. Yes, so this is what I wanted to share. I find it very inspiring. Because now I can tell you a little bit personally. And authority, I didn't have a good relationship with authority since I was little. And they really, unfortunately, disappointed me. The authorities, not in a big way, but in significant ways, because especially when you are a child, very young child, you need to trust a little bit, to have a little faith, yeah, that you're gonna be taken care of properly, and also who is around you is gonna be taken care properly. So in my personal case, that was from early on, not like this. But on the other side, I had I have still very nice parents, that could see, that I really needed to, to be guided nicely. So yes, so that's my great fortune. So I could see both of the situations, a very good leadership and not very good one. So then, when it's time to, for example, go into the spiritual path, choose a spiritual master, that's very, very, very important, I would say, So because I had many teachers, many that didn't convince me. Others instead that really inspired me to pursue my deepest search. Yeah, I really, really wanted to find somebody that could, really clarify and answer my deep questions. And, by the grace of the Lord, I'm very fortunate to say I really feel in my heart I found that person. And, so yes, so that's my wish for everybody to really, if we know what we are looking for, it's easier to find it. Yeah, clear, right? Isn't it? So if we know our ideal leader should be, and we can see it in our inner vision what we are looking for, then we will be led very nicely, yes. And then if we want to develop these qualities, why not, because that's I brought with me another beautiful book, Forever Present by Kadamba Maharaj, His Holiness Kadamba Swami Maharaj. And in a section of the book, it's amazing, he's telling us a story, a personal story. When he arrived in Vrindavan in 1978, he found, that, the leaders that were supposed to really lead him, in a particular case, not all of them, of course. He found himself, unfortunately, catching a personality in a compromising position. And so they had to send him away. This was, I believe, head of the kitchen at the time. And so then they told him, okay, now you take the place of this person. So he was like very new, and he had to take on all the task of leading the kitchen. And then he decided, okay, look, even if this person didn't give me the proper example, I can be the example. I can try my best. I know what Srila Prabhupada wanted from us. It really was connected to the founder Acharya and the qualities that he imbibed deeply. And he decided, okay, let me be an example myself. And, from there, since he was really just arrived, just Bhakta that didn't know anything, right? He decided, he took this decision, okay, I'm going to be an example. And eventually then he became a wonderful example. He is still a great example for all of us. But he's encouraging us very much to look, don't be discouraged. Try to be yourself an example. So that's the next step. Yeah. So we are looking for the ideal leader. Eventually, though, we have to understand in our also small position, like a housewife in my case, or whatever we are doing in our life, we can be an example, ourselves. Why not? It's totally possible. We just need to really decide it inside. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Questions? Fragen? All good, yeah? You liked the points? Okay. Thank you very much for being here. And so let's go. It's time for greatest service, honoring Prasada. Jaya. Hare Krishna.